Putrajaya is re-evaluating a $3.9 billion settlement reached between the previous PN administration and Goldman Sachs. According to Bernama, the Premier said a special task force led by Titiwangsa lawmaker Datuk Sri Johari Abdul Ghani is poring over the deal struck with the US Investment Bank in 2020. Johari, who was Finance Minister in Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin's cabinet when the settlement was reached, has criticised the former administration's willingness to accept the sum. He said it was too low and urged Putrajaya to launch a probe against those involved in the negotiations. Anwar was quoted by Bernama as saying that he agreed that a review was necessary as the settlement agreement was done hastily, which led to many questions being raised. Under the previous deal, Goldman Sachs agreed to pay $2.5 billion in cash and guarantee the return of $1.4 billion in assets to Malaysia to settle a criminal probe into its alleged involvement in the fiasco. Lebanese jewellery firm Global Royalty Trading refiled a $14.57 million or 67.46 million ringgit suit against Datin Sri Rosmah Mansour for breach of contract over 43 missing pieces of jewellery, including a diamond necklace and a tiara, each worth between $124,000 and $925,000. It earlier filed the suit against Rosmah in 2018 to seek the handover of 44 pieces of jewellery it had sent to her for viewing. The firm withdrew it the following year, following Putrajaya's seizure of valuable items and cash in the Pavilion and Jalan Duta home raid. But out of the 12,000 pieces of jewellery that were taken, Global Royalty only found one diamond bracelet worth $220,000 said to be owned by the firm, while 43 are still unaccounted for. Meanwhile, the government failed in its forfeiture bid and returned the seized items to the self-styled former First Lady of Malaysia. Global Royalty is now seeking the return of the 43 items from Rosmah in good condition, failing which it would claim 67.46 million ringgit, along with interests and other relief by the court. Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim says it is too early to ask Human Resources Minister V. Sivakumar to take leave as the MACC looks into allegations of graft at his ministry. According to a Bernama report, Anwar highlighted that Sivakumar was merely being investigated and not charged. Meanwhile, Sivakumar himself denied reports that MACC officers had raided his office and home yesterday. According to a separate Bernama report, Sivakumar was asked by the press in Putrajaya about reports of the anti-graft agency's raids, said to be linked to an investigation into allegations that he received millions of ringgit through middlemen in exchange for a guarantee to continue government contracts, to which he said there was nothing. Sivakumar also reportedly confirmed that he was at the MACC's headquarters yesterday to have his statement recorded and that he does not expect to be summoned there again. The Malaysian Automotive Association, or MAA, said vehicle sales hit a new monthly all-time high of 78,849 units last month, surpassing the previous record of 76,657 units in December 2022. Total industry volume, or TIV, was underpinned by the fulfillment of bookings made during the sales exemption period, rush for deliveries by companies whose financial year ended on March 31st, and Hari Raya promotional campaigns. The association said the monthly TIV was 24% higher than the previous month, raising the year-to-date figure sales to 192,474 units, up 20% from the same period last year. Total vehicle production for the month also grew, up 19.23% to 76,069 units from February, while its year-to-date figure jumped 28.69% to 198,394 units from a year ago. Salutica, which was slapped with an unusual market activity or UMA query earlier today, highlighted its legal dispute with Apple Malaysia as a possible cause for the recent jump in its share price and volume. The loss-making Ipoh-based electronic manufacturer said the suit is ongoing, with the original trial dates in June remaining unchanged. The Edge Malaysia Weekly reported in its latest issue that investors are showing interest in the stock as its court case with Apple Malaysia draws closer. Salutica started legal action against Apple Malaysia in 2022, claiming the American tech company's wireless pairing process infringes on its patent, which it applied for in 2012. This aside, it noted that there is no corporate development relating to its affairs that has not been previously announced. The group also said that it is unaware of any credible rumour or report that may account for the trading activity. Shares of Salutica jumped 29.36% to close at an intraday high of RM1.41, the highest recorded since December 2017. This gives it a market capitalisation of RM601.36 million. Meanwhile, its trading volume was 41.58 million, more than 16 times its 200-day average volume of 2.57 million.